Hey everyone, Jamie here from TechnicalCafe.com. Welcome to your second Java tutorial. In the last tutorial, we set up our computers so that we could actually start writing some Java code by downloading the JDK, or Java Development Kit, as well as a program called Eclipse, which is an IDE, or Integrated Development Environment. We will begin to write and test our Java code. So in the last tutorial, if you recall, we set up a directory called First Project, and within that directory we have a class called main.java, and if you recall, all Java programs are made up of classes, one or more classes, usually more, and within each class you can have methods, variables, statements, and stuff like that. So right here we have our class called main within our first project directory, and you start a class by saying public class main, and within our class here, between the code block here created by curly braces, we have the main method, and in Java the main method is where a program begins to run. So every program has to have the main method, and they can only have one main method. So we're going to write some code today within our main method between here, and that's where we're going to actually run our code. So let's just quickly go over what the main method is, and that is public static void main, and then there's some parentheses with stuff inside of it, and that's called the parameter list. Then we have string array args, and that just means that there's a string array called args, and actually none of this stuff is really too important right now when we're just learning the basics. We'll learn more about that later. So Eclipse creates a auto-generated method stub comment, which we can just delete, and we'll come over here and write our first program. So within Eclipse we can write programs and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and start writing our program. We're going to create a program actually that prints the words hello world to the screen, or to the console down here actually. And many Java programmers start off, or programmers of any language starts off by writing a hello world program. So what we're going to do to do that is say system.out.println, and we can just put some parentheses there and end that with a semicolon. So within our print line statement here, we're going to write what we want to be printed to the screen. In this case, it's going to be a string that says hello world. So we can say we're going to put some parentheses there, or quotation marks rather, and say hello world. And you can make it say whatever you'd like. It depends on what you want. So what we're going to do is come over here and hit this green button in Eclipse here, and this is the button that's going to save and compile your Java code. And when you save, compile, and run your code, the computer is going to turn whatever we wrote here into Java bytecode, which is then going to be read by the Java virtual machine and translated into instructions for the computer. So let's go ahead and click this button here. It's going to ask us if we want to save. So we'll say yes, and then it's going to run our program for us. If something went wrong and you don't see hello world down here, just check to make sure you spelled everything right and that there were no errors generated. But our program right here did run successfully. It said hello world, and this is how you go about writing and running a program in Java, albeit a simple one. So let's come over here and change hello world. We can say, for example, hola mundo, and this should still run perfectly. We just got to recompile it, save it, and then it'll run it for us. So it says hola mundo. So feel free to play around with this. It's pretty basic, but it's a start, I guess. So we can do another print line statement, for example, system.out, and what you're doing is you're basically just telling the computer to print to the console. So print line, and we can say this is a second statement to print. And keep in mind that you're going to want to put everything you want printed out between a set of quotation marks, and you're going to want to have to end each line here with a semicolon to tell the computer that you're done with an instruction. So we can come back over here and save and compile this, and when it gets ran, you're going to have hola mundo, and this is a second statement to print. So feel free to play around with this right now. Fool around with some more methods and stuff like that might come up, and feel free to tune into the next tutorial. Thank you for watching.